You? Is anybody?
There's Molly, folks. That means your friends the Goldbergs are here. Brought to you by Does, the new kind of soap for everything in your wash. First, let's drop in on the Dozen family. Uh-oh, there's Pa and Ma Dozen on the front porch. Ma Dozen's a little peeved.
Pop Dozen, were you talking to that pretty widder next door?
I was only telling her about Does.
You were looking deep into her eyes talking about soap.
Sure. I was telling her it's a brand new soap discovery. The poor thing didn't know it.
A fine story.
It was. You should have seen her face when I said she only needed one wash day soap now. Does everything, I says. From dirty overalls and towels to her fanciest rayon doodads.
Is that when you held her hand?
Oh, no, that's when I told her how easy Does handles the grimiest work clothes. No scrubbing her fingers off. Why, I says, she didn't even need a bar soap anymore, because Does the job all by itself.
Regular wash day Romeo, ain't you?
I told her plain facts. I says, no soap made gets towels more snowy white. I told her, you said you've never seen whiter washes than Does.
I bet that got her.
Yep. But when I told her Does is actually safer for the nice colors she washes, that really got her. Why, I says, Does gives longer life to colors, yet it can't be beat for washing the dirtiest clothes.
Is that why she pinned that flower on your work shirt?
Oh, she was thanking me for inviting her over to meet you. I told her the best wife in town does everything with Does.
Oh, Pa.
Oh, Pa. Well, like Pa says, compared to other leading granulated wash day soaps, Does gives longer life to colors, plus unsurpassed whiteness and real cleaning power for the dirtiest clothes. Try Does, D-U-Z. It does everything in your wash. And now the Goldbergs. Well, it wasn't very easy for a girl as young as Rosie to meet the situation at the Goldberg house. The elements in it were adult, confused, veiled with fraud and hypocrisy. And Rosie's most intimate feelings, her deepest loyalties, were involved. But Rosie met it. Met it by taking a few bold steps. First, she told a certain George to stay away from the Goldberg house. And then she went to her sister-in-law, Grace, who Rosie felt was somehow involved with George, and frankly told Grace that it was time to stop this. A child is on the way, Sammy is overseas, and as a goodwill gesture, Rosie offered Grace the money that George and Grace had schemed to get. So Rosie was, in effect, outwitted. But she feels she did the right thing. And after all, Rosie still doesn't suspect the depths around her. Listen.
Rosalie, what are you doing by the window?
I'm watching Mama.
Oh, she's out on the lawn with Grace?
Uh-huh.
What is she doing?
Look.
Look how she's covering Grace. If Mama could give Grace the moon and the stars, she would do it. You, Rosalie, should get such a mother-in-law.
I won't.
How do you know?
Because there's nobody in the whole world like my mother. Uncle David, if I tell you something, would you promise me that you won't say anything to Mama? Because I want to tell her myself.
If you tell me not to tell us, I wouldn't.
I signed the policy over to Grace. I'm going to give her the money. Do you hear me, Uncle David?
Yes, Rosalie.
But I don't want you to say anything to Mama. I asked Grace not to tell Mama either. I want to tell her.
Nobody should take that pleasure away from you. Tell me, what did Grace say when you told her?
I didn't give her a chance to say much. I did all the talking.
Yeah, what?
Everything. I didn't spare myself and I didn't spare her. I told her everything. I told her what I said to George, too.
You said it? You said you thought...
I did. I said I thought that they knew each other before they came to Glastonbury. But I told her it didn't matter if it would remain in the past. I said I was willing to forget it and never say anything if George stopped coming around. I even told her I didn't want to know whether it was true or not. It was what I believed, and if I was wrong, I still didn't want George around.
Yeah, and what did she say?
Oh, I'll take it, Uncle David. Hello? Oh, yes, Pa.
Rosalie, tell Papa you gave Grace the money.
Oh, well, just a minute, Pa. I'll call her.
Tell Papa.
No, I don't want to, Uncle David. Let Mama tell him. Ma! Yeah? Papa's on the
I'll tell him. Hello? Jake? Molly's coming. Hold. She's out on the lawn with Grace. Yes. Jake?
Uncle David, please.
What am I saying? Hello? Nothing. I'm talking to Rosie. Huh? Is Mama coming,
She'll be
Rosie?
here in a minute.
She'll be here in a minute. All right. All right. Very well. Goodbye. He couldn't wait. He has a second call coming in. He'll call back. Tell me, Rosalie, why didn't you want me to tell Papa?
Because I want to tell Mama first, and when Mama comes in, will you leave us alone, Uncle David?
Yeah, sure.
I love you so much, Uncle David.
Yeah? Why?
I don't know.
Is that a compliment? You love me and you don't know why?
Well,
If you would say because I'm pretty.
well,
If you would say because I'm elegant.
Uncle David,
If you would say because I'm wonderful.
you're more. You're everything that there are no words for.
Oh, so marvelous I am.
Mm-hmm. For me, you are.
And you for me, Rosie.
Is that Mama?
Yes,
Is that George on the road, Uncle David?
George. Let me see. No, that's the Bolton boy.
Better not be George, because if I see him around it...
Papa's hanging?
No, he hung.
Oh, money, how?
He said he'll call back, Ma.
He wanted something important?
No,
Where are you going, David?
to read inside.
Now you're going to read.
What's now?
You read later.
What's later?
Sit a little.
Ma,
There's so much to do and to do and to do.
Uncle David, if you want to read...
Yes, I'll go outside with
Grace
Grace.
is reading, David, darling, and she has to relax. Get me my stationery, Rosalie.
Ma, won't you let
I
me...
have to write to Mrs. Bloom.
But, Ma,
Yes.
Rosie wants to tell you something.
She will later. I want a pen and I want paper.
Molly.
Too long already. I postponed my correspondence. Where's
Ma,
my pen?
I just...
Never mind, I'll get it. Where's my pen and my paper?
Uncle David, why did you go out?
Well, she wouldn't let me, Rosie.
Please don't say anything,
No,
Uncle
I
David. Let me...
wouldn't. I wouldn't.
What's it talking? What's it talking?
Nothing, Ma.
What's it talking? Like two twins, Rosie and Uncle David. Like two twins. Always talking secrets. What is it talking in the conversation? Forwards and backwards.
nothing, Mom.
Sit, David, sit.
Yes.
You wouldn't be in my way, dear.
Ma,
You want to write for me, Rosalie?
Yes, but...
So do so. Here. It's all right here by the table, dear?
Ma...
You write, darling, because I have to write. Dear, make the salutation. No, don't scribble. Write in good initials. Dear Mrs. Bloom.
Can't this wait, Ma?
No, I wanted to make the mail train, darling.
But, Ma,
How long will it take me? Got it? Salutation? Dear, dearest friend. Dear, dearest friend, Mrs. Bloom. Mrs. Bloom. Sit, David, darling. Sit.
Yes, I'm
Sit, dear.
sitting.
Ready? Paragraph? A capital letter. At long last, I have a moment to scribble to you a few words. Come on. Few words. Rosalie, well,
Yes, Ma.
well, few words that will let you know the state of mine health and joy and happiness. Sit, David, sit.
Yes.
Why am I happy?
Because I'm going to be a grandma.
Because I'm going to be a grandma.
Ma...
And number two, I'm happy beyond my vocabulary because you have that, Rosalie.
Uh-huh.
I'm happy beyond my vocabulary,
I have that, Ma.
but this you haven't got.
What?
Why am I happy?
Why?
Come here. Look at me, Rosalie.
Who told you, Ma?
Grace told you?
Grace told me. Grace told me what you did, Rosalie, darling. You know what that means, David? We're a family united, David. A family that is one. That makes a family. Oh, David, darling, all for one and one for all. Our hearts are tied together as one now. Our hearts and Samuel's hearts far away. Oh, David, darling, Didn't I know it? Didn't I always know it? Now our Grace is really ours. Really ours. Because now she's Rosalie's sister. She's my child. And the little one is ours. And we're
Uncle
all
David, who's that?
What? Where?
Is that George?
Rosalie.
Come
What?
right in.
And if it is George, David? I'm talking, David.
I don't know, Molly. I don't know.
Molly doesn't know it. But David is beginning to suspect that the family is still far from being one. And Rosie knows that George will be a barrier to understanding until he leaves and the past is revealed. You know, some people find it hard to make new friends. And other people, well, they just naturally seem to find friends everywhere. You know, young Daisy Doesum's that way. Why, just yesterday, Daisy Dusum said...
Oh, I met the cutest man. He actually shaves already, and he likes Does. He clerks in a store, and he sells more Does than anything. He's wonderful.
A man after my own heart, Daisy. Because the more Does he sells, the happier lots of ladies will be on wash day. You see, this new kind of soap does everything in your wash. Work shirts, towels, to pretty rayon slips. Why, compared to other leading granulated wash day soaps, Does gives longer life to the nice colors you wash, plus unsurpassed whiteness for towels and real cleaning power for the dirtiest clothes. Yes, even in the toughest wash, Does does everything. And friends, Does sends you this wartime reminder. All soaps contain vital war materials, so don't waste soap. Measure your Does carefully into your machine. Help make every bit of Does you use do more. Be sure to listen to the next episode of The Goldbergs, written for you by Gertrude Berg. Rosie is frank, but George and Grace are franker and more subtle. This is Clayton Collier speaking and reminding you to do as the Dusums do. Let Does, the new kind of soap, do everything in your wash.